What's up? Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Greens. I'm Little Green Kitty. If you have not subscribed already, then make sure that you do so you don't miss out on any of our wonderful content, and hit that little thumbs up. That always helps us. We would much appreciate it. And of course, you can visit thedailygreens.org to find a whole bunch of really awesome resources. The press releases that we're about to go through are linked on our website, thedailygreens.org. So this is thedailygreens.org, and our website looks like this. And you just scroll on down, and you can see right here, list number 7 is where all of these press releases can be found. So the first one that we're going to talk about quickly is a Florida man shipping synthetic drugs to Southwest Virginia. So a 60-year-old and a 30-year-old pleaded guilty last week to one count of conspiring to distribute Schedule I controlled substances in the form of synthetic cannabinoids. And that is how you say that, cannabinoids. At sentencing, each defendant faces a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison and or a fine of up to $1 million. Additional, Harrigan agreed to forfeit $500,000 in criminal proceeds to the United States. According to the court documents, Harrigan and Roa admitted to packaging and shipping large quantities of abfubinaca? I don't know how to say that. Oh, it's probably AB fubinaca or something like that. A Scheduled I synthetic cannabinoid throughout the United States via the United States Postal Service and other shipping services. One thing that is good to be aware of, if you happen to know anybody or around anybody that might be doing any kind of synthetic drugs, is that they often do add in like a AB or a number or something like that into the name of it. So if you hear somebody saying, oh, I do this, and then it's some weird title that you've never heard of with like an AB or a number in it, then it's probably some kind of synthetic something, and that's not good. Quantities of these drugs were sent to the Western District of Virginia from Florida, including packages that were intercepted before delivery in Coburn, Virginia, in October 2014. Additionally, in September 2017, a search of a storage unit belonging to Roa in Tampa, Florida, yielded quantities of that drug, packaging materials, and address labels listing Harrigan's name and address. His illegal profits from this drug activity were found to have been at least $500,000. Roa is scheduled to be sentenced on February 25th in Abingdon. Harrigan's sentencing is scheduled for March 2nd, 2019. All right, so just when you think that they have, done away with all the synthetic drugs, I don't know how many of you remember hearing about that spice stuff, but it did not stop there. They were talking about the K2 thing was the original thing, and that was just one brand that was using a certain type of synthetic substance. Let me switch back to where you can see my face. Hi there. So the K2 thing was just one type. It was just like one brand that was using this kind of synthetic substance, which was a synthetic cannabinoid. So after the FDA and everything started trying to attack them and started trying to regulate them and make that illegal and controlled, when that happens, all of the chemists just end up coming out with the next synthetic cannabinoid, because that one has not been regulated yet. If they come out with a new thing and they're just selling it as a botanical fertilizer, was one of the terms that they used to sell it as, then the FDA has a very hard time tracking it down and finding it and knowing which ones companies are putting on their substances. Because if you think about this too, once they have to make the actual substance itself illegal. The plant material that the people put it on, it can be any kind of plant material. That's not what's causing the issue. That is not the synthetic cannabinoid. It is the chemical that they are putting on it. So the FDA has to try to regulate that chemical. So they're always in this ongoing battle trying to keep up with it. So it's not gone. It is not gone, just so you know, all of you parents and stuff out there. All right, so our next story is former U.S. Army Range Director pleads guilty. You know what? You're still on my face. There we go. Okay. Former U.S. Army Range Director pleads guilty in bribery scheme. A former senior U.S. Army civilian employee pleaded guilty yesterday to conspiracy to accept over $100,000 in bribes while serving as the director of the range at Hawaii's Sheffield, I think that's how you say that, barracks, and to a related firearms offense. Assistant Attorney General Brian Benzikowski of the Justice Department's Criminal Division and these other people made the announcement. Okay. Victor Garo, 67, of Mililani, Hawaii, what a pretty name, pleaded guilty before Chief Judge J. Michael Seabright of the District of Hawaii to a two-count information charging him with one count of conspiracy to commit bribery and one count of illegally transporting firearms across state lines. Sentencing is scheduled for March 2020 before Chief Judge Seabright. According to admissions in his plea agreement from 2011 through 2018, while employed as the range director at Sheffield Barracks in Oahu, Garrow accepted over $100,000 worth of bribes, including in cash, automobiles, and firearms, from an employee of a federal contractor that sought and received business from the U.S. Army. In return, Garrow used his position to benefit the contractor in securing U.S. Army contracts, he admitted. Garrow is the second public official and the third individual to plead guilty as a result of an ongoing investigation into fraud and bribery at the Sheffield Barracks. Ooh, interesting. So, I don't know how many of you have heard not that long ago about companies getting in trouble with the government because certain equipment that they're giving to our military, they're not holding up the way that they should, like helmets and stuff, and obviously that's really, really bad. As taxpayers, we're spending a lot of money on the military. We are giving a lot of money to it, and if the money isn't going to a product that's actually working, then that's our tax money that is wasted. And the government tries to go after these companies, and they try to sue them and stuff, and they oftentimes have to reach a settlement, which of course does not necessarily mean that they're getting the full amount back. So here, this guy was just like, yeah, I'm going to set up for you to get this contract, that contract, and, just being bought off and bribed into it. I don't know about you, but I want my military to have products that are actually good, that have been chosen because of their quality and because the company knows what they're doing and they're willing to make adjustments, and they're actually trying to keep our men and women in service safe, and not just because they bought off somebody. So, all right, let's try to go ahead on to another one. Any of these that we don't cover, I will try to do this evening. I keep saying that. It's very hard for me to stream in the evening, but I think they're going to start hearing soonish. So, let's go on to this next story quickly. And I'm sorry I keep messing up whenever I'm trying to read through these. Okay, ABS Development Corporation agrees to pay $2.8 million to settle False Claims Act allegations and to waive administrative claims. The Department of Justice has announced that ABS Development Corporation has agreed to pay $2.8 million and give up $16 million in potential administrative claims to settle allegations that it violated the False Claims Act by fraudulently obtaining a foreign military sales contract reserved for American companies. ABS, a Delaware corporation based in New York, is a subsidiary of Astrom International Limited of Israel. Wow, that's interesting. The settlement announced today resolves allegations that ABS fraudulently induced the Army to award ABS a contract for the renovation of the Haifa, I hope that's how you say it, Israel shipyard by falsely misrepresenting that it would perform and contract when, in fact, its Israeli parent company, Astrom, intended to do so, and for presenting false claims to the United States, certifying that it was performing work as the prime contractor when in fact the work was being performed by Astrom. Foreign military sales contracts require prime contractors to be American companies that perform a substantial portion of the work. The Army would not have awarded the contract to ABS nor paid ABS invoices had it known that Astrom, not ABS, was going to perform and did perform the contract. Those who contract with the government are obliged to follow the law, said Assistant Attorney General Jody Hunt of the Department of Justice's Civil Division. We will continue to enforce rules designed to protect American businesses and taxpayers. I hope so. Well, that's very worrisome to me. So this company that the government was giving money to and paying invoices for and everything, they were actually, pretty much they were just an Israeli company. It was just a front for a bigger Israeli parent company. So, that's not good. There are reasons why the American government has certain laws about, hiring the American company, and while they might be working overseas and working with an overseas company, it still has to be the American company that our government is working with. All right. This one might be a longer one. Okay, so I'm going to save the rest of these until later because they are about to start the hearings in a second here. So again, if you like those press releases, if you would like to see some more, if you are an independent journalist or an alternative media type person or group, and you want some good resources, some good stories that have not been covered by the MSM, then make sure that you check out our website, thedailygreens.org, and we put up big lists of press releases from the Department of Justice, the USDA, and all of the other government agencies. And we like to share information for the people, so you can just go on there and take what you want to cover. So if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, then please do so. That way you don't miss any of our coverage in the future. And if you would please hit that little thumbs up guy, or hey, if you don't like us, if you don't like our coverage, if you think I'm too awkward to do this, go ahead and hit the thumbs down or leave me any kind of comment supporting or otherwise down below. I would love to hear your opinion either way.